Creativity and computers, what could these possibly have to do with one another? Nothing, many people would say. Creativity is a marvel of the human mind. But computers, with all due apologies to Mario, Sonic, and friends, are basically just tin cans. It follows, doesn't it, that the two are related only by utter incompatibility? Well, no. Computers and creativity make interesting partners. With respect to two different projects. One, which interests me the most, is understanding human creativity. The other is trying to produce machine creativity, or anyway, machine creativity, in which the computer at least appears to be creative to some degree. What is creativity? First things first. Human creativity is something of a mystery. Not to say a paradox. One new idea may be creative, while another is merely new. What's the difference? And how is creativity possible? Creative ideas are unpredictable. Sometimes, they even seem to be impossible, and yet they happen. How can that be explained? Could a scientific psychology help us to understand how creativity is possible? Creativity is the ability to come up with ideas or artifacts that are new, surprising, and valuable. Ideas, here, includes concepts, poems, musical compositions, scientific theories, cooking recipes, choreography, jokes, and so on and on. Artifacts include paintings, sculpture, steam engines, vacuum cleaners, pottery, origami, penny whistles, and you can name many more. As these highly diverse examples suggest, creativity enters into virtually every aspect of life. It's not a special faculty, but an aspect of human intelligence in general. In other words, it's grounded in everyday abilities such as conceptual thinking, perception, memory, and reflective self-criticism. So it isn't confined to a tiny elite, every one of us is creative, to a degree. Nor is it an all-or-none affair. Rather than asking is that idea creative, yes or no, we should ask just how creative is it, and in just which ways? Asking that question will help us to appreciate the subtleties of the idea itself, and also to get a sense of just what sorts of psychological process could have brought it to mind in the first place. Creative ideas, then, are new. But of course, there's new. And there's new. Ask a teacher, for instance. Children can come up with ideas that are new to them, even though they may have been in the textbooks for years. Someone who comes up with a bright idea is not necessarily less creative just because someone else had it before them. Indeed, if the person who had it first was Shakespeare or Euclid, we'd think even more highly of the achievement. Suppose a 12-year-old girl who'd never read Macbeth compared the healing power of sleep with someone knitting up a raveled sleeve. Would you refuse to say she was creative just because the bard said it first? Perhaps, if you'd been talking around the topic with her, encouraging her to come up with non-literal ways of speaking, and even putting one or more of the three key ideas into the conversation. Otherwise, you'd have to acknowledge her remark as a truly imaginative one. What you might do, and what I think you should do in this situation, is to make a distinction between psychological creativity and historical creativity. P creativity and H creativity, for short. P creativity involves coming up with a surprising, valuable idea that's new to the person who comes up with it. It doesn't matter how many people have had that idea before. But if a new idea is H creative, that means that, so far as we know, no one else has had it before, it has arisen for the first time in human history. Clearly, H creativity is a special case of P creativity. For historians of art, science, and technology, and for encyclopedia users too, H creativity is what's important. And in daily life, we appreciate it too. It really isn't true that the old jokes are the best ones. But for someone who is trying to understand the psychology of creativity, it's P creativity that's crucial. Never mind who thought of the idea first, how did that person manage to come up with it, given that they had never thought of it before? If new, in this context, has two importantly different meanings, surprising has three. An idea may be surprising because it's unfamiliar, or even unlikely, like a 100-to-1 outsider winning the Derby. This sort of surprise goes against statistics. The second sort of surprise is more interesting. An unexpected idea may fit into a style of thinking that you already had, but you're surprised because you hadn't realized that this particular idea was part of it. Maybe you're even intrigued to find that an idea of this general type fits into the familiar style. And the third sort of surprise is more interesting still. This is the astonishment you feel on encountering an apparently impossible idea. It just couldn't have entered anyone's head, you feel, and yet it did. It may even engender other ideas which, yesterday, you'd have thought equally impossible. What on earth can be going on? Computer creativity? What of the second link between machines and creativity? Can computers be creative? Or rather, can they at least appear to be creative? Many people would argue that no computer could possibly be genuinely creative, no matter what its performance was like. Even if it far surpassed the humdrum scientist or street artist, it would not be counted as creative. It might produce theories as groundbreaking as Einstein's or music as highly valued as McCartney's yesterday or even Beethoven's Ninth, but still, for these people, it wouldn't really be creative. Because creativity by definition involves not only novelty but value, and because values are highly variable, it follows that many arguments about creativity are rooted in disagreements about value. This applies to human activities no less than to computer performance. So even if we could identify and program our aesthetic values so as to enable the computer to inform and monitor its own activities accordingly, there would still be disagreement about whether the computer even appeared to be creative. The answer to our opening question, then, is that there are many intriguing relations between creativity and computers. Computers can come up with new ideas and help people to do so. Both their failures and their successes help us think more clearly about our own creative powers.